ire ciana ciake 13 ndi mwana wa kanana. Mami witu, matriarch of 13. The life and legacy of Lucia Wangui Thangwa. Our beloved mother, Mrs. Lucia Wangui Thangwa, fondly known as Martin, lived for 93 remarkable years. Years that were not merely counted, but richly lived. She departed from us in the 3rd month of the year, and as if heaven itself wished to mark the rhythm of her departure, she received the sacrament of anointing of the sick on Muthenya wa Gatatu, Wednesday. And today, Jumatatu, we lay her to rest. There is something quietly poetic about the number 3 in her final days. 3 moments: anointing, farewell, and rest. 3 sacred poses marking the final chapter of a life that was full, generous, and beautifully lived. To attempt to summarize the life of a mother of 13 is rather like trying to hold the ocean in the palm of one's hand. Yet, because you are here gathered, eager to know the woman behind the legend, we shall try. And indeed, legend is not a glad word to use. Lucia Wangui was born in 1933 in Riagethu, Tuguka Wainaina Gashaja na Shosho Wajiro wa Wainaina. She was a second born in a family of 7, and she is survived by her dear sisters Hannah Washira Kumagatodo and Beatrice Ngiri Watheka no kwa kahinda ka United States. From early on, she displayed that rare combination of determination and grace that would define her entire life. In those days, educating girls was not the norm. Girls were expected to tend goats, fetch water, and learn the silent curriculum of domestic life. But our mother had other ideas. She insisted politely but firmly so that she too deserved the gift of education. Eventually, her parents relented and she began schooling at Leoki Mission School. Though somewhat later than most, at the age of about 18. That small act of insistence was a preview of the illicit spirit that would carry her through life. For a brief moment, she even contemplated joining the covenant. But life, with its delightful sense of humor, had other plans. Along came a young teacher, our father, who himself entertained thoughts of becoming a priest. Indeed, our mother was a student of our father. The Cupid, however, intervened decisively. The two who had once considered religious vocations instead embarked on another sacred vocation, raising a family. And in a delightful twist of divine irony, one of their children eventually became a priest after all. Although Mom did not pursue formal education for long, she became the finest educator we have ever known. Together with our late father, she ensured that all 13 children went to school even when circumstances were difficult. The commitment to education was unwavering. Today, Mom's and Dad's quiet determination has blossomed into a family tree whose branches stretch into many professions and callings. Her 13 children ventured into the world carrying the lessons she taught at home: hard work, generosity, and the simple understanding that if you start something, you finish it. And so the roll call goes. Proof that raising 13 children was not only an act of courage, but also an impressive long-term investment in human capital. First was Margaret Wajiko, number 1, now resting in peace. A businesswoman whose arrival at Christmas was eagerly awaited, not only because we loved her dearly, but because she came bearing goodies that made the festive season feel properly festive. Then came Paul Kimani, number 2, a retired Lads officer with the Ministry of Lads whose support for siblings has become the staff of family legend. In many ways, he has been the dependable compass of the family, always pointing in the direction of help. Next was Martin Wainaina, number 3, also resting in peace. A retired driver and landscraper who knew the roads of life and sometimes the shortcuts better than most. John Ubogwa, number 4, took the path of marketing with the Royal Media, proving that in our family words can travel just as far as the vehicles. Then there is Agnes Wajiro, number 5, a retired officer from the Auditor General's office who has since taken her talents all the way to Seattle, United States. Clearly, Mom's influence was strong enough to cross oceans. Jacinta Jerry Foro, number 6, followed by the noble path of farming and motherhood. Indeed, she is something of a matriarch in the making. In her own remarkable way, together with her husband, they have come impressively close to catching up with her mother in the distinguished art of bringing many children into the world. They have 9 children. Peter Ndongo, number 7, works at a Lizzie Preparatory School and is an accomplished carpenter, a man who can fix almost anything made of wood and perhaps even a few things that aren't. George Kihara, number 8, the one reading this eulogy, which also constitutes the tribute, chose the path of teaching and humanitarian service, becoming something of a global citizen whose work reached far beyond the village paths where we all began. Then comes Father Michael Thangwa, number 9, a Catholic priest, perhaps the divine reminder that although Mom and Dad abandoned their youthful thoughts of religious life, heaven still claimed one representative from the family. Then Daniel Wanyoike, number 10, is a family artist, a painter whose creativity ensures that beauty and imagination remain firmly represented among Mom's descendants. Hannah Waboi, number 11, is a celebrated nurse in the United States, carrying forward Mom's own natural instinct for caregiving, only now with professional certification to match. Elizabeth Wangui, also known as Wakemani, keeps the media world informed through diverse announcements and adverts with various media houses from her agency in Githunguri. And finally, last but certainly not least, comes Senator Karungo wa Thangwa, number 13. The youngest of the line, proving that sometimes the last chapter of a book can be just as exciting as the first. Together, they represent the extraordinary legacy of a mother who began with a little more than faith, determination, and unshakable belief in her children. Looking at them today, one might say with a smile that Mom did not merely raise a family, she quietly built an entire institution. But education was only one dimension of our motherhood. Our mother was a nurse by excellence. Whenever one of us fell sick, her bedroom instantly transformed into a hospital ward, though admittedly without the intimidating hospital bills. They used to pay the bills together with my dad. She would comfort us there, bring food, prayers, and even medicine, the proverbial aspirin and Cafenol. She was a catechist of the home, ensuring that every evening we gathered to pray the rosary. Sunday Mass was not optional, it was simply part of the rhythm of life. Mom was a gifted singer, had a beautiful voice, clear, confident, and always ready for duty and sang in the church choir. She later became the oldest member of St. Teresa of the Child Jesus Catholic Church choir, a position she held faithfully until her final years. She was especially gifted as a soloist, the kind who would rise during a song and lead everyone with the confidence of a seasoned conductor. The most fascinating part was how she delivered her lines. The words flowed so smoothly and perfectly timed that you would think she was reading from a carefully prepared script. But there was no script. Everything was stored in her mind, verses neatly arranged, meanings thoroughly woven in, and occasionally sprinkled with a little humor, just to keep the congregation alert. During family gatherings, however, there was one song that was unquestionably hers. Without fail, Mom would rise, clear her throat with authority, and launch into her signature anthem, Toedane. And she did not sing it quietly. She sang it with gusto, joy, and kind of enthusiasm that made it impossible for anyone to remain seated for long. Before you knew it, the whole family had joined in, some in tune, some bravely attempting. It became more than just a song. It became her way of gathering us together, reminding us that life is best lived when you walk, sing, and laugh together.